RTD late night chat. Want to check in this evening and see what's going on out there, see who's available, see who wants to have a little back and forth this evening. More importantly, find out what's on your mind, what's going on out here this evening, and get your thoughts on what's currently happening with this whole tariff situation. What are some of your expectations? Let's have a little back and forth. So I'll give it a minute before I begin ranting back and forth. But more importantly, Spirit, how you doing, my friend? Who else we got joining us? As always, if you are watching, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you're a new subscriber or whatnot. Want to definitely welcome you to the community. The goal is with these late night chats, as you can see beneath this video here, there's a telephone number, of which tonight it should be good. Last night apparently it wasn't working for my computer, but on my phone I had, a lot of missed calls. So I apologize for that little technical difficulty, but I can't get it all ironed out like I would like to sometimes. But anyway, let's go back and forth. So what's going on out here, man? What's new? What's happening around the world? What's some news stories that's worthy of talking about this evening? So we got Tony. How you doing, my friend? We got low blood pressure, Corpus Christi, Texas. you low blood pressure. You do a good job of letting us know what area you represent, and I appreciate that. Representing Texas says doing good. Raining today, which is my preference. Really, you prefer some rain? So yeah, I prefer some good sunshine, of which today was a little bit nippy, but yet the sun was shining. So it's one of those give or takes there. As Kenneth Gibson says, looks like China is not backing down. Kenneth, give us the 411. Assuming I haven't really had a chance to check into it today, but has China responded yet as to what they will do in anticipation of their goods being taxed a little further, a little taxed a little more as of Friday? And also, what do you guys think about that tariff on those additional goods that have not been taxed for the most part? And are you guys looking forward to paying a little bit more for your goods that's imported from China? Or do you have alternatives? Would you prefer to now see more of a push for made in the USA? So let me know what you think. Sweet Jones, evening RTD fam. How you doing this evening? We got Professor Curtis. Hello from Oakland. Thanks for tuning in, Professor Curtis. Market down 600 points. Yeah, that is big news. I guess it's big news, but it's one of the things where if you've joined us before, especially I think it was in December when that thing was up 800, down 3, up 4. Yeah, I personally I don't really, man, as I mentioned before, without going down that pathway, modern day investing has more of a gambling feel to it. So unless you actually know what you're doing, unless you're actually willing to get in, get out in the form of trading, I think buying and holding, in the long run, we'll see if it pans out to be worth the headache and just that'll pit in your stomach you get if your entire lifestyle is dependent upon returns from that financial sector. So, but once again, let me know your thoughts on that. But and on another note, for those that have not had a chance, as I mentioned over on Silver Doctors, had a chance to sit down with Alistair McLeod, and he laid out as to why this whole tariff and this trade spat between the U.S. and China will ultimately boil down to hurt domestic economies, primarily here in our manufacturing base, and how he was saying basically by the end of this year, he's anticipating pretty much the Dow, basically being dropping in half in a sense. And he laid out his case as to why that is. So if you guys are interested, definitely check that out because, that 600 drop today is what, not even a little bit over a percentage, or 2% or whatever, how many of a percent in comparison to what it could be down the line. So anyway, but keep it moving. It says, ain't that snipes? It says Iran will sink a U.S. carrier. So that's another thing. I believe there's two, if I'm not mistaken, cruise ships or whatever. Or I read, I think, who was that? The guy from AMT, not AMT, what's his name? Chris? I don't know. Anyone mentioned about a B-52 heading towards Iran. I don't know what that's all about, but it looks like as we get into the summertime frame, there's a need of some type of additional conflict outside of what's happening in Venezuela. So it looks like between Venezuela and Iran, my question to you guys is, which area do you think will have boots on the grounds or bombs dropped on it first? Any takers there? Anybody want to chime in as to what they think? Which nation will have direct American intervention in it first? And of course, we all know the outcome. It will be devastating for citizens there. Thousands, if not, several thousand of individuals might end up losing their lives because of this whole war situation that seems to be inevitable, and it's a tragedy, and wouldn't wish it on anybody. But it looks like that's what the powers that be have decided that they want, and that's more than likely what they'll get. So this thing is all part of the game to keep the 1% in charge. Tony, I don't doubt it at all. And so between war, the volatility in the markets, all the 1%, those that own a majority of all the businesses, all the corporations and entities that we buy from, that we utilize their services, they're still in control at the end of the day. So I think it's more so for us, it's that incremental removal of ourselves from this system as best we can, which is very hard because everything we do is entangled in it. From the lights we have in our house to the water we drink from our faucet, the power, food, our financial system. It's difficult, but bit by bit, man. And I think bit by bit, gram by gram, ounce by ounce, at least getting your financial situation under control as best you can, and getting out of this system however you can would be definitely helpful. And of course, the less debt you have, the less you'll have somebody willing to take from you or possess what's already theirs. You're just borrowing it from them. What else is going on? Faith is in the building. How you doing? Honestly, people should start buying extra food supplies if the markets keep acting up. Extra food supplies can never go wrong. Can never go wrong with that. Oakland is live tonight. What's going on in Oakland? What's happening in Oakland? Something we need to know about happening in Oakland? Or is just the fact the professor's joining us makes it live? Which one? Jared Mathis says, hello. What's going on with the carrier group Trump sent to the Iran? Did not find information. I personally didn't find out anything either. Let me go ahead and let me see if I can grab a hold of some information while we're going back and forth and see if anything pops up. Because think about this. If this pans out to be the case where there are actual U.S. troops or forces, planes, whatever heading that way, what does that say about gas prices this summer if there is some intervention in that area? So from what I have in front of me here, as of 4 hours ago from Business Insiders, it says the U.S. is sending a ton of firepower to take on Iran. Here's everything headed its way. And so it looks like there's a F-18E Super Hornet on the flight deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln. So in response to the threat of a possible attack on U.S. forces by Iran, really, the U.S. military decided to send additional firepower to the Middle East by U.S. Central Command. It says this includes an aircraft carrier with full carrier air wing, 1 cruiser, 4 destroyers, and a group of heavy bombers. So it looks like due to, as it says here, from our mainstream media here, due to a threat on U.S. forces. So I'm wondering what exactly and how can Iran really threaten us, apart from the whole Strait of Hormuz that they're mentioning about shutting down if things happen to go sour. So apart from them basically saying they're going to boss up in their own backyard, if the U.S. considers that a threat, then I'm not surely, I wouldn't, I wonder what exactly the other nations consider what we do to them when we talk about bombing them, going into their backyard. But once again, it's us having our military spread all across the planet. It says the U.S. Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group, which consists of carriers and as well powerful carrier air wing, as well as 1 cruiser, is moving into the region with an unspecified number of B-52 Stratus Fortress heavy long-range bombers, according to U.S. Central Command. So as we speak, according to this source here, there's some heavy artillery heading towards Iran. Now imagine, put yourself in Iran's position. Here you have a fleet of heavy armed vehicles, airplanes, cruise ships coming your way. How do you think you would feel knowing that off your shores, pretty soon you're going to have an enemy there who wants to take you out and who has originally planned on taking you out for several decades now, and because of the pressure that's on them, meaning the economy, so Trump situation, the presidential election, and everything else we don't know about, they are in need of some type of instigation or some type of provocative, somebody basically just being that trigger that will lead them to wanting to carry out their original mission of bombing the hell out of them and destroying everything that Iran stands for, and ultimately moving in and stealing their oil as well. So I would imagine that you wouldn't be sitting too comfortably knowing that you have an enemy that wants to take you out and will find any reason to do so. So, yeah, what do you do? I mean, that's the question. What do you do? So the question will be, will Iran, because we know that China and Russia are allies with Iran, and so if you do happen to drop a bomb or actually put boots on the ground in Iran, what do you think your neighbors will do? That will they help you out? And how will that play out if Russia, China does get involved? Could that be, something that we don't want to see? Because I doubt Russia and China sits around and allows the U.S. to intervene in Venezuela, boots on the ground, carriers, cruise ships, whatever, and or Iran. Nevertheless, both of them, because Iran and Venezuela are two of the last three or four nations that are not are not in good standings with the U.S. as of now, as far as all the plans and obligation or opportunities that the U.S. wants to steal and take advantage of that they're not allowing us to do. But that's just me ranting. So as always, the number beneath me, 313-462-0027. Give me a call. Phone line should be good this evening. Won't be on long, but yet just want to check in and see what's going on. It says the Chinese markets dropped thousands. Yeah, so let's actually find out how that fared out today. And so, not even knowing much about the Chinese stock market directly, and if we have anyone that's familiar with it, feel free to shine some light on it. But knowing that the Chinese people are savers, I believe they're of course heavily invested in equities, whatever. But I know real estate is really big over there, and so let me see what's in the news. Chinese stocks bounce back. Nokia stumbles as traders weigh U.S. So it says Chinese markets plunge more than 5% as U.S. trade tensions escalate. And so as of 13 hours ago, it said Nokia stumbles as traders weigh in. So let's see if it recoups some of those losses or not. It says that Japan fell 1.6 as of resuming trading after a 10-day national holiday. So it looks like a couple, we got the Shanghai Composite, all those things are still in the red. So yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. It says Chinese market drop. Well, it says carriers to Venezuela. Yes, I heard that. Dow won't until after Trump is reelected because the markets are manipulated. The truth with Taylor. Good point there. So I actually started listening to Peter Schiff's podcast tonight, and he was leading off by, do you think that Trump deliberately tweeted this past Sunday and Monday about the threats of tariffs to basically put the Fed in a very uncomfortable position? Because if they're actually looking at the markets as opposed to their Fed data, and so by the markets basically reacting to that very tweet, does that put pressure on them to actually sometime before the next meeting have to intervene by dropping rates and meeting the president's request? So could Trump have done that deliberately to get the Fed to react, is what Peter Schiff was talking about. And of course, it appears to be that this whole make America great again and this America first rhetoric that he's been operating on for several years now, it seems like, and it feels like, he sincerely wants to bring about change, but the way he goes about doing it makes it seem like it's a game to him, because whether the markets tank or not, he's going to be okay. It's just everyone else that is dependent upon these financial markets for their livelihoods are the ones that are in danger, and especially those that are going to be impacted by these tariffs when it comes to employment in this country. So, yeah. And so the truth of what Taylor says, Iran is our next war. Yeah, barring intervention from their allies of some kind. Spirit King says, I think Trump is a coward afraid to attack anyone directly, so he's poking Venezuela, Iran, and North Korea in the hopes of an opportunity for a re-election war, for that re-election war appears. That could be very true. That could be very true. It says federal deficit grew 38% in the first 7 months of the fiscal year. And it grew, and we're supposed to be in economic expansion. So if our economy is doing well, GDP is 3.2, of course, it's going to be readjusted to 1 point something. But if everything is so good, then, you know, what will be the need for more stimulus, more drop in rates? Why can't they continue to raise rates as they planned? And by them holding off, lets us all know ultimately that the economy is not as strong as they would like for us to believe. And with the push to drop in the midst of this expansion, it doesn't add up at all. Therefore, the recession that many people has been talking about for several months now, it's official. The fact that the Fed is under pressure to drop right now lets me know that the recession probably is right now, according to the inverted yield curve and all the manufacturing numbers that aren't really there. Automobiles sales is down. I mean, all these indications kind of let you know that something's not right, people. Now it's just a matter of it being labeled official. But as always, it's going to be 6 months from now. So that'll probably put us at December, January of next year before, you get that alarm or news flash across your TV. Dow drops, such and such, recession is here, bond market tanks, the banking crisis, and the liquidity of the banks. And so that's things that I anticipate hearing. And the question is, between now and then, whenever that time frame is, how can you further improve your situation so that you don't stand to lose a lot, or as much as you may have if you were heavily impacted by the Great Recession? Are you? I can't say are you recession proof, because every area of our life will be impacted one way or another. But will you be better off as opposed to the last Great Recession 10 years ago when things went under? Were you heavily impacted? I know for me personally, I was not. I didn't have any debt. House was paid for. And yeah, I really wasn't paying attention to it. So, yeah, so hopefully this year or this next go round, it's not as bad either. So we'll see. But anyway, I'm rambling again. I apologize. I do apologize. It says Trump will resign if Iran attacks Lincoln. Trump will resign if Iran attacks Lincoln. Will resign. I don't know about that one. But Sweet Joe, I'm the first. Hey, Brando, I'm way behind the chat. Forgive me. As always, people, if you guys want to talk directly or share your thoughts directly over the phone, 313-462-0027 is the number to do it. Give me a call, and we can make it work. You ever hear of Steel One? Lil Rosie? No. Let me know what that is. Avery Flint, appreciate that. Do you know Convoke? No. Let me know that one as well. Russia has DEW as the U.S. can't touch. All these abbreviations and acronyms, and elaborate for me. It says, quick fact, guys. Read Osama bin Laden demands from 9/11 time. It's pretty much all about the dollar, sanctions, and essentially the petrodollar. Not supporting his actions, just saying. Osama bin Laden demands. I don't think I've ever read that. Let me see here. Doop, 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 doop. Let me see if we keep scrolling here. How is this? Brando, how you doing, my friend? People, are we having a? we t- I'm trying to figure out what exactly people talk. It says, "What are the next targets? Are on mainland America through shooting and bombings. World War III is on, and we are a target." Um, Jose, that's something that a lot of people don't really tend to touch on. We always talk about us going to other places, but I would imagine that for the sake of wanting to inflict pain and harm on our nation, that there are plans, I'm sure, to send some missiles towards the mainland here, and or I mean, a lot of people feel like there's sale groups that are inactive now that can be activated to pull off little things in this country. So that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. Not necessarily as if we're invincible towards that type of thing happening here, but for whatever reason, we haven't, or I'm not aware of any time that the U.S. has been attacked on the mainland directly, apart from everything that happened in Hawaii or whatever. But as far as like actually some missiles coming this way, which I wouldn't doubt is possible, because I believe strongly that Russia and China have the technology to send some hypersonic type things our way, where we probably won't be able to act in time. Yeah, Tony, I agree 100%. So for some of that unproductive talk there, I had to just time out a couple people. So what I would do is, for those that are not actively contributing to the conversation, I don't want to have to uh, mute you or whatever, but I'll do that in the meantime until we can get things in line. What we're talking about tonight. This is more of a political, monetary, financial type of show, so I want to keep it at that. Any late night other activities, you can, yeah, do that on your own time. It says hate both Maduro and Guaido. Yeah, apart from what we hear, I don't know anything about them, and personally, all I do know is that Maduro was chosen by Hugo Chavez, like him or love him, but yet he won the people's hearts during the revolution and all that stuff like that. And that whole Chavismo movement is all about not allowing U.S. intervention and imperialism to take over their country and keep it 100 for the Venezuelan people. And Maduro, appears to want to have that same narrative, even though he's hurting his own people the way he does it. But Juan Guaido is a U.S. puppet, 100%. So, Juan Guaido getting a thumbs up from the U.S. basically says that he was bought and paid for it, where I'm definitely not a fan of him, because he doesn't have the Venezuelan people's best interest in heart, in my opinion. Binance 7,000 BTC hack. That is definitely a conversation starter right there. And so Binance, I think I've heard somewhere about it. It's their second hack, but yet 7,000 Bitcoin were hacked. And I'd imagine, whenever I usually hear the word hacked, that's a pretty large institution. And so I'd imagine they have a lot of first, second, third type security measures. So if they get hacked for that amount, I tend to say it was probably a inside job or something like that. So if that is the case, um, and also was those 7,000 Bitcoins from directly from people's wallets, or were they reserves for Binance itself, or what? So assuming a lot of people, if they had their stuff parked on those exchange, they should be pissed. Nothing for Binance though. What else you got? Gunlock today on CNBC. Debt has been growing faster than GDP. Sky Country. I did see that headline. Didn't have a chance to check it out, but Mr. Gunlock, billionaire and the Bond King. I tend to watch him, Ray Dalio, who else? Mike Novogratz. A lot of those billionaire individuals that don't mind speaking out about debt and how problematic the economy is right now for a lot of people. When they speak, I do listen, because they're in a position where they can warn people, because they've already prepared. Like, they're already well diversified in a variety of things, and to them, I'm sure they're going to make out well come this next crash, because all they do is just buy up everything and get heavier and extend their generational wealth the way they do it best. Says, you right, sweet butt. don't you know America want to be democracy, quote, democracy to Venezuela like they did in Libya, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan? Huh. It says, why don't you have pictures on the wall? Ryan, pictures. I do have pictures. Well, pictures, uh, not direct. I mean, this is all my wife's doing. So I let her do her. I let her do her. Let her do, yeah. Phones are down again. Come on now. Phones aren't down again. How can the phones be down? I wonder what is going on. Let me let me try. Let me see. Because when I cut this phone on, so now I'm on my phone. So Tony, try me again, my friend. It's saying that I'm on and I have a lot of missed calls. So my ringer's on. So I should be good to go. I should be good to go. My volume's up. So try me again. Let's see what happens. Spirit King says some people already tried to call. People are saying the phones are down again. Man, if it ain't one thing, it's another, man. I tell you. Apart from just inviting you all over, say, come on over, hang out with me. I'm not sure what to do. Mike, how's a homeless in Detroit? Low blood pressure. I haven't. There's been nothing on the news. Definitely they're here, but I know with downtown Detroit where I don't go too often. Right outside Detroit, I know in some parks and whatnot, there were a fairly large homeless community there, but I don't know what the scene is like now. I haven't actually heard or been anywhere in that area, so I don't know. So I don't know 100%. So I can find out though. That's for sure. Call Silver Doctors. I'm sure he will pick up. It hasn't worked since he had the coughing fit. Yeah, I remember that very well. Um, yeah, man. Unless my dang number ain't no good, but it should be good. So what I'm gonna try to do, real quick, I'm gonna try to call. Well, I can't call myself. I'm gonna try to call myself and see what happens. So the number you entered is invalid. Oh yeah. Let me try. I'm gonna try out one. Let me try. I'm gonna try to call one. Try to call myself and see if I get a voicemail and see if it is any good. Mm. Yeah, so I'm able to call out. So, yeah, not sure what's up with that, man. Can we call Silver Doctors? You can't call Silver Doctors because you won't get me. Call Silver Doctor. No, you can't call there. I mean, you can call there and leave a message for me. They'll get it to me, but I won't be there. Still does not work. Sky Country, I apologize. Not sure what it is. The number should be good. Everything should be good on my end, but for whatever reason, I don't know. Let me check. Let me check and make sure the number that's beneath this video here is actually the right number because why would it not go through? Let me see and make sure the number that I put on here is legit. 313-462-0027. That's the number that we've been using. So once again, I apologize. I'll iron it out by tomorrow. I'm calling you now with no answer. I wonder what we'll do if it has over 650 missiles launched at us. Ah, man, what would we do if we had 650 missiles launched at us? Yeah, definitely. We don't have, I don't think we don't have that S-400 Russian missile defense system. So I don't even know I don't know if we even have a defense system. I'm sure we do, but I don't know if it's capable of stopping a bombardment of hypersonic missiles. So we are in trouble. Someone said, give out your personal number. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Machine smarter than a human, not a walking robot, but many programs are and can learn on their own. Yeah, that's the whole AI stuff. Yeah, I'm very, very bothered by this whole situation here with this number. What the heck is going on, man? How do you pay for a service and it don't even work? To receive number from today. Today, 5 calls, 5 seconds. Yeah, I don't know. I'm bothered. This is really troubling. I gotta figure this out because this is not supposed to be the case. But anyway, I'm gonna work it out. I'm gonna work it out. F-35 is our missile system. F-35 is our missile system. Tony, how old is that F-35, and what exactly has it been upgraded to be able to detect and stop hypersonic missiles, or just the old ballistic missiles that travel at a couple hundred miles an hour? How about them thousand mile an hour or speed of sound? I'm not even sure what that is offhand. Skynet IOTA. I could be the blockchain from Black Knight Satellite. Interesting. Faith, they don't like us. Yeah, man. But that's what it is, man. So yeah, we're gonna call it a night, man. It's been great. It's been we took about 30 minutes. And as always, I apologize for the kinks. The whole goal of having a talk show is to be able to talk to people, but yet when your service don't work, gotta figure it out. But anyway, with that being the case, people, if you enjoyed the back and forth, don't be afraid to hit that thumbs up button right beneath this video here. It just helps others find the community. More importantly, back at it again tomorrow night. Hopefully I'll be able to do it in a normal time. Other than that, it's been great hanging out with you guys, and we can keep moving from there. As always, any articles, any news stories you guys come across, leave it at the bottom of this video here in the comment section, or shoot me an email. I appreciate those who have shot me an email with little news stories and whatnot. I definitely try to read them, and if I can, make a little video about it to help everybody else, come across that information. I try to. So, but other than that, everybody be blessed, be safe, and I will see you guys later. And if you found anything informative here, use it, share it, and go from there. But other than that, also tomorrow I will probably do a video on a opportunity that I have available that will be for a limited time, and so I want to definitely make sure you guys get a chance to get your weight up a little bit. So stay on the lookout for that video tomorrow, Mach 1. But other than that, be safe, be blessed. See you guys later. Peace.